Hey guys, Culture the Kid here, and today we're going to be looking at something that's a long time coming. I'm obviously talking about Ellen Ripley from NECA's Alien Series 4. Now, this literally has been a long time coming, and I'll tell you why. When do you ever get to see Sigourney Weaver in an action figure? You don't. You never do. It's sad. Women action figures in general don't get a lot of love. Now, there are action figures of women out there. They're just not as plentiful as the male action figures, of course. But there's a lot of women collectors out there, just as many as men. And even with the men collectors, we obviously want us some Ellen Ripley. There's a ton of the women in movies that we would love to have. It's just a matter of time to get them. So finally seeing people follow through, finally having Sigourney Weaver actually sign off on the likeness, that was really important because you don't just get like a standard female action figure. This looks like Sigourney Weaver. It's well done, and it's, in my opinion, one of the best ones that they have for the entire series. Now here you can see her in her packaging, which is that standard NECA clamshell, which is always awesome. However, I do kind of like the new packaging they've been doing for the Ultimate figures with the window boxes, and in the new Terminator Genesis figures and the DC 7-inch collectibles. Those have been pretty awesome too. On the spine, you have the traditional pictures of the figure, which always look awesome. They look like the real person, but they're not. They're just that awesome sculpt that NECA does, and they put them right there on the side so you can kind of see it. And then right above them, you have the Alien logo from the movie, and I really like the way that NECA did the print so that it kind of messes with your eyes. It really does. It kind of fucks with you. And then on the back, obviously, you have the description in space. No one can hear you scream. As always, they have the little description, and then the also available at the bottom. Now, this series, I own them all. I'm going to do a review on them all. They're fantastic. Obviously, Ripley in her spacesuit, and then Ripley in her jumpsuit, and then, of course, Dallas. Can't go wrong with Tom Skerritt. You really can't. And here you have her in the front of her packaging. You can kind of see through it. I like the way that she is in her package. I kind of like the way she's displayed. You got the flamethrower right there. You got Jonesy up to the other side of her. She's got that look on her face, that that innocent, lost kind of look that Ellen had to her. Here you got to see him out of the packaging. Now there's the flamethrower, there's Jonesy. I love the fact that she comes with Jonesy. You weren't really going to expect that. And if you look closer at Jonesy, here you can tell that they kind of went into detail on him. You can really see the fur. They kind of went around. He kind of looks flocked. He's not. He's plastic. But they went around and they made it look as if he was flocked by the way that they kind of sculpted in the fur there. I kind of like the fact that they caught almost everything about him. His tail moves. That's awesome. So even Jonesy has some articulation. You can put it down like that, so he looks like he's calm. Or you can put it up, and he can kind of look like he's running around the spaceship there. Maybe he's investigating a little something. But yeah, I really like that. I like the fact that you can twist it the entire way around. I mean, that's beneficial right there. And then up there at the front, you have Jonesy's head, his bright green eyes. His head turns around fully. You can get it in every single angle if you want. Obviously, you want to try to line it up with the paint job, but I think it's awesome that Jonesy can look around, and I really dig those bright green eyes that he has right there. They kind of stare into your soul. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool if you ask me. They kind of pop against that orange, that bright green with that orange. Plus, you can't really go wrong with animal action figures, you know. And if you set him right there, hold on, there you go. He sets up pretty much anywhere. He doesn't fall over very much at all. Maybe only once or twice, max. So anywhere I really put him, he kind of stands there. Doesn't get really heavy. Depends on the tail. Here we get a closer look at the flamethrower. Now, obviously, it's no surprise anytime you mention the fact that NECA has attention to detail. They go through on everything from right here. You can see the little holes at the end where the flame shoots out. And they kind of do a nice paint job. They go even to the grids where they like to paint the filters. You can see each little tiny hole. And I kind of like the paint job too. You get little like brown speckles and black marks in there. So it kind of looks like it did in the movie, which is really cool. On the handles, you got where Ellen's hands are going to grip. Now, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but, you know, there's something with the hands that kind of is bugging me a little bit. Here you have the canister. Obviously, it's going to hold the fluid to ignite the flame. And like I said, you get the little black marks, the little ones that kind of just make it look real. It's very firm. Yeah, that little guy right there, he broke, but that's not even a big deal. Doesn't really matter where you push him. But all in all, it's just, you know, it looks awesome. I like it, the fact that whenever you look at something close up, you can really tell that, hey, maybe it's not real, but they paid enough attention to detail to where it really looks good. And you can see the chains here where that's connected. They kind of went through, so it kind of looks like it actually is on a chain. Be cool if they could actually do something with metal, but obviously the money for tooling would be insane if they actually tried that. But it's pretty sturdy. I'm not really worried about it breaking. Sometimes you have problems with stuff breaking if it's not good, but this is pretty well done. The strap here looks leather, which is great. And here you can see the Nostromo patch, which is awesome. I mean, it looks like it was actually stitched on there. The attention to detail on her jumpsuit is great, but I love that patch. It's on both sides. I just think that's so awesome. I mean, just from the lines and everything. And here, if we're going to take a closer look, you can see on her collar right there that she's got 3 different layers, which is great. You got the green undershirt and then the gray one, and then the jumpsuit zipping up over top of it. Here you can see the zippers, the way they've actually, paid attention to the zippers, to the detail of the actual hem, and clear down the leg, just everything. All the zippers, they've went ahead and they've made sure to make it just like her jumpsuit from the movie. It's got, that great, late 70s, 80s feel to it. It's very retro. And the sneakers, they have that awesome paint job to make them look dirty and worn. Kind of gray, but still, I like it. And then up the back, you see every little tiny thing they did there to make it look like the strap up there, or the lacing, whatever you want to call it. And then just the way that they did the lines in it. You can see where she moves at the waist. It looks worn. On the head sculpt, come on. That is Sigourney. That's young Sigourney. She's got that strong, prominent, chin and jaw. The hair is totally early 1980s, even though the movie came out in 1979. And just like they did on Jonesy, the attention to detail they played to the hair is amazing, because it really, it looks like real hair. And think about the time that it would have taken that sculptor to really show that love. And you can see that it doesn't keep her head from moving. I was worried the hair would kind of restrict it, but she can still look up, she can still look down, side to side. I hate that. There is that right there where it's kind of hovering. I don't really like the hover, but she doesn't really need to look down that often. I do have her sitting above my desk, so she does kind of look down at me, but yeah, she's got a little bit of helmet hair. That happens, but it does fit on her back, and it goes seamlessly. And that's really the only complaint that I have about the hair, because it doesn't stop it from turning. Here's a closer look at it. Just look every which way. And you've seen this before, like I've said. The attention to detail with NECA, the hair that they did on the Leatherface figures, some of the Jason ones, it's always a pretty good and accurate portrayal of, I'd say, the human hair. I don't know, on some other figures you don't really see that. They maybe add 7 or 8 lines, and it looks like a toy. But that's what these guys specialize in. The articulation is the same as always. You got that ball joint right there that turns, it pivots. It stays pretty firm. It doesn't get too loose, which I really liked about it. That's one of the great things about NECA. All these other toys, the joints get really loose after you play with them. NECA's made for posing, and posing is what you can do. Same with the elbow. It bends back and forth. I do feel a little bit that the arms are flimsy, which kind of worried me. Not many of the figures, they're usually really, really sturdy, really tough. These bend. These bend easily. So, I guess it's because of that. It makes it so that you can hold the flamethrower easier. So, it could be kind of a good thing, could be a bad thing. I think it's better because, like I said, it allows them to bend without breaking the joint on the elbows. It allows them to bend to hold the gun. But here is my big problem with her. The wrists. I really am not a fan of how easily they come off. They do twist. They are, like normal wrists for NECA. However, whenever she's grabbing them, bam. Just like that. And you can see a little bit better here. Yeah, they pop off. So, obviously, I assume they're supposed to. It's not like it's a defect and the hand fell off, because it goes right back on. It's not a problem. So, I'm not saying that the hands are defective and they're falling off. It's just, it seems to me that if she's going to hold on to it, if she's actually going to keep the flamethrower in her hand whenever there's pressure on it, that it should really be able to stick. Because when it pops off, that's the problem. I put the flamethrower in her hand, I go to pose her, and then she'll hold it for a second, and then boom, the hand pops off. But I mean, like I said, it goes back on. The other one, at least you got the wrist watch right there. But see, just like that, pops off. Yeah. So both of them do it. It doesn't look like a break. Obviously, right there you can see the hole is perfect. So I mean, it's obviously supposed to be like that. It's just, I don't know, maybe a little bit bigger of a head on the end of that to keep it in. Now here at the waist, you can see, like I said before, the way she bends, and I like the way they kept the zipper going up on both sides. The attention to detail goes all the way up, and then that top part is fitted on top of that, which makes it look more realistic. And with the legs, they're very firm, which is awesome. Typical for the NECA ball joint legs right there, and they're kind of connected in the middle inside of there. But like I said, she gets good articulation, which is great whenever you're having her kind of hunker down. Her knees can bend back and forth. They can switch all the way around. A little bit tight bending back. But I mean, with Ellen, you want her to have kind of like that semi-crouched pose whenever she's holding the flamethrower. Now, this is really cool. I really like what they've done here with the shoes. I like the joints that they put on the ankle, the way that they twist. Not a lot of their figures did that. One of my big problems with the figures before is over time they would start to lean forward. So having it being able to twist like this, being able to move back and forth, you can position her in so many different ways, and it also keeps her from falling over time. Because like I said, that pivot joint, and hopefully that's something they're going to be doing a lot more recently, but it's a huge help getting her to stand up. And then, of course, all rights reserved to Fox on the bottom. As always, their little stamp on the edge of their NECA shoes, manufactured obviously in 2014. But just all around, just a fantastic figure. Next time we're going to be taking a look at the compression suit Ripley. We're also going to be taking a look at Dallas. So just stay tuned. And that's about it for this week.